Hide your bitch, I'm back to beautiful. I said, hide your bitch, I'm back to beautiful, baby. Welcome, welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, ghouls, goblins, gremlins, ghosts, and Greta. If it's a Monday morning, you already know the forecast. It's gonna be a shitstorm. I'm your host, Aries Bookman, and thank you for tuning in. Who do we got in the chat this morning? Cast the spell, as always, you know, ready for it. Lonnie Sanders, good to see you in the chat as well. Lucid S. Bay. Welcome back, y'all. I got my White Society Ejects in there. God body face ass, hell yeah. Today we about to slay that God body shit, okay? And look. Oh, Dawson in the chat, good to see you back, man. Look, because you know I got a show for you. Metaphysics is a branch of philosophy, okay? In terms of class or category, metaphysics is philosophy. A lot of people say metaphysics. It's a really good, spirity sounding word to say. So you're going to hear a lot of people say it. But most of them have no idea what it is. Metaphysics is philosophy. I'm going to give you the arguments. I'm going to give you how this all pans out. It's not just going to be, oh, melanin kundalini hit your pineal and then you upgrade. But stop. We're not doing it. We're not doing it. I'm not going to tell you how to unlock your telekinesis power so you can blow a bottle over on a windy day. All right? Fuck you mean. Bro, I seen one nigga. He had, you know what? I can show you the Instagram post. But, see, I can't. I'm already ready to do everything, right? I'm ready to just have some fun. You have no idea. But we got to do shit in order, man. Elia, good to see you in the chat, boy. Look, man, talking about I gotta go to work, bro. Let's stop. Put the headphones in. Holla at your boy. Okay, like I said, first and foremost, somebody has to play that beautiful intro. Somebody got to do it. It's gonna be me. Other niggas try to be doing a live, bro. They try to do the shit I be doing. They ain't got no charisma. They joke not funny. I remember last season, some nigga tried to do my taco meat joke. First of all, didn't he have no taco meat out? The intro. Excuse me. Beautiful. Man, bro, I'm just sitting here looking at the damn intro because I love the intro. Bro, all that shit just came together. You think I made a digital video of Shiva throwing it right out to the third eye? No, I didn't make that. You think bro, shit just came together. I love it. When you're in line, bro, shit line up. That's all I'm gonna say. When you're in line, shit line up. Now, that was just a platitude. I was not giving you some cosmic rule. Niggas is dumb. Anyways, bro, so much shit to talk. I be feeling the same way. Hell yeah, bro. I be having hella shit to talk. Y'all niggas know. I be on the lives and everything. Lonnie Sanders said, Daffy got the headphones in on the clock. West, definitely got the headphones in. I said Daffy, not Daffy Doug. My apologies, bro. Hell yeah, bro. Put the headphones on. Get that shit in your ear. I'm in it. The boy said, him Alfred. This nigga is him. Intro's crazy. Hell yeah, bro. I love that shit. Keep me going, man. All right. Like I said, today I want to get into the God body stuff. Okay, I don't even have to go into individual arguments about which God body, how the God body, or whose God body. I'm telling you, I'm gonna cut all that shit off right at the ankles. Everybody ankles gone. Nobody standing. I'm telling you, the God body shit is so. was about to tell you how to feel. I don't want to tell you how to feel. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to get into the facts. All right, no feelings. A lot of times niggas tell you how to feel, boy. They can't help it. And I get it, we got feelings. I'm not telling you don't have no feelings, but feelings ain't facts. First thing though, as always, libation in this motherfucker. And I'm still messing with my green screen, my camera angles, new location, whatever. Spotlight on Spirit. Bobby Emmett was spitting everywhere. He had the deities and whatnot. See, I couldn't be sitting in the front row. I got Spotlight on Spirit. So we're going to do this real quick. I ain't even upload the one from last week. Fuck you talking about, I got to do that. See, I got to get into a new workflow. Anyways, let me see what I got for y'all here. Where do I put it? Oh, yeah, it's right there. All right, boom. Check me out. There are many people upon the North American continent. With those people came their gods, or vice versa. Anyways, before I digress, I'll ask you this. I want to make sure I can do it like this. This is what I'm going to do. There are many people upon the North American continent. With those people came their gods, or vice versa. Anyways, before I digress, I'll ask you this question. Who is Coyote? Coyote is a mythological character common to many of the people who are indigenous to the North American continent. He can be quite the trickster and is known most notably for his cunning. At other times, however, he can be the tutor of the peoples and possessor of great wisdom and knowledge. He can be found in a wide variety of tales, especially from the natives of the Southwest Americas. He shows up in creation myths as the villain, as a teacher, or a fool who tricks himself with his own tricks. Coyote is generally a male character and is more or less an anthropomorphic coyote man, who is usually characterized by his coyote-like features, such as fur, pointed ears, a tail, yellow eyes, and blunt claws. Depending on the tale, he may have more resemblance to a coyote or to a man. While coyotes have been revered for their intelligence and abilities, their opportunistic habits sometimes make them a nuisance. This is also reflected in the iconography of Coyote. Now, with the tales of Coyote being as prolific as they are, it wasn't difficult to find a story about him. A story where he's responsible for the structure of human life itself. In the beginning, there was no death. Everyone would stay alive until there were too many people for the lands that were available. The various chiefs decided to come together to have a council meeting on the issue. During the meeting, one man stood and suggested that it was a good idea that some people should die and be allowed to come back after a short time. As soon as that man sat down, Coyote stood up among the men and stated that people should die and not come back, because there was not enough food and space for everyone to live forever. The men in the room objected to this, claiming that there would be no love left in the world if they were forced to part with their loved ones. Except for Coyote, all the men in the room thought that it was a good idea that people should die, go away for a while, and then come back. Coyote was not pleased. After everything was decided, the medicine men constructed a grass hut with an opening that faced towards the east. He told the chiefs that the people who died would come back to the grass hut and be brought back to life. All of the people were glad about this setup because they were all afraid of death. Eventually, just as the medicine men said, one day a whirlwind swept through the village and encircled that grass hut. When the whirlwind entered into the grass hut through the east, the medicine men began to sing a special song. Out of the whirlwind, a young, handsome man who had been killed by a neighboring tribe was restored to life. Now, all of the people of the village, who had been terrified of death, were pleased to see the young man return. Coyote, however, had fallen even further into displeasure, especially because his words had not been heeded. When Coyote saw the young man restored to life, he immediately went to the grass hut. He took a seat next to the door to the hut and waited as the people sang songs for many days. Eventually, another whirlwind approached the grass hut. When Coyote heard the whirlwind approaching, he tightly shut the door to the hut so that the spirit in the whirlwind could not get into the grass hut. Thus, Coyote introduced people to the concept of dying and never coming back. From that time on, people grieved for their dead and were unhappy. Ever since Coyote closed the door to the grass hut, people have been forced to wander the earth forever, seeking and seeking for some place to be, until they finally wander upon the road to the realm of spirit. Ever since that day, Coyote has always been fearful, continuing to have to look over his shoulder at the thought that someday he will have to atone for his actions. Although Coyote may not be around today, as he was apparently back then, we can still find remnants of his presence. Many of us spent our childhood watching him purchase the latest Acme product in his unending effort to capture the Roadrunner.
Yo, the beats be hit, man. What you talking about? I made sure the music came back at the end, you know. Alright. That's my spotlight on spirit. Coyote, Native American deity. There's a whole bunch of them. And the stories are easy to find. So I'm gonna have I'm thinking of having at least another 2 of those coming up. Aaliyah Jenkins, good to see you in the chat, and good morning. Good morning. Said your girlfriend Bobby. Hey man, look, me and Bobby ain't together like that, man. Don't be telling folks that. Might have got the dick once, that's it. Chill out. We ain't together. Motherfucker introduced me to some people. If for some reason you haven't, go check out because that reminds me. Thank you, Lila. Go check out the video of our first sex magic experience. Put that up. Niggas think they know what that shit is, bro. Sitting out here trying to. Never mind. That gets in. No, because that gets into what I'm talking about today. Mystifying the mundane. All right, motherfuckers don't know what they're talking about. They don't know what they don't know because they don't think about their thinking. This is why you need philosophy. You think about your thinking because the issue is not what you think, it's how you think. It's not whether or not your Jesus is chocolate or from another planet. It's what you think. It's how you think that's the issue. And it's always been the issue. Ryan Morrow, good to see you in the chat. Cast a spell showing y'all some love. That's mine. Never mind. Sorry. Excuse me. Lottie said, so yeah, I think the God body shit was founded by the Nation of Islam. But stop. I think they be saying something to the effect. No. I think that ties in to Noble Drew. And look, man, look. Hold on. I should be able to do this, right? Oh no, I have to set it up. I gotta set it up. No, right there. Oh. Bruh, did you see that? You see how little that thing was? Oh shit. Okay, I can scroll down. Can I scroll down? No, because I did this fucking. Why did I do that? There we go. Bro, you see this shit? I be editing on the fly. That shit funny, bro. No, okay. I'm sorry. I'm having too much fun. Y'all, I enjoy myself in this bitch, as you can see. Anyways, look, there go the chat. I can put the chat up there. What are we talking about when we're talking God body, okay? What do I mean when I say God body's garbage? What do I mean when I'm talking about God body? Okay. With the ITT college, hey, talking about what got that technology. What are we talking about when we're talking God body, okay? Okay, so here, so you see me. I'm beautiful. Back to beautiful bitches. What are we talking about when we're talking God body, okay? This is the idea, and there's a variety of ways that it manifests itself. The idea that
their spiritual endeavor is to somehow unlock something in your body. And once you do, your body takes on the characteristics of a god. It upgrades, you could say you become enlightened. That's the one way people will put it. Other people, it's a what's gonna happen is the planet goes from third dimension to fifth dimension and it shifts. See those narratives. That last one is basically the rapture again. Bruh, hold the fuck up. Hold the fuck up. I can show you the fucking Instagram reel. I can show you the reel. I can show you the niggas saying it. Cause you'd be like, niggas would be like, bro, niggas don't really say that. Niggas don't really do that. You joking. Okay, cool. Fuck you. I'm not joking. I know what I'm talking about. I deal with this shit, bro. Okay. How do I go to my save shit if it's, oh no, I can do this. Bro, what the fuck? I can do this. See, man, I be having the technology. Niggas don't know. I sound like that nigga dirty when I said that. That was funny. Okay, but the idea of the God body, right? It's mystifying the mundane. That's the biggest problem. All of their frameworks, their theories, their conceptions about how reality works, their metaphysical presuppositions. Are all based in space-time. Space-time, what do I mean? Space-time and the symmetries of space-time. So they'll tell you about melanin. They'll tell you about cells. They tell you about atoms, subatomic particles. They'll jump into the quantum realm. Once again, still particulate matter. What is quanta? What is quanta? Okay? They're still talking particulate matter. It's still broken down into some type of a particle. They'll tell you about those particles. See, even the flat earth people, they're doing the same thing here. They're mystifying mundane shit. Lonnie says it's some Sunni Muslim rhetoric. See, I don't even know I don't know the differences in the different Muslim shit. I should know that shit. It's kind of my field of work, so I'm kind of slipping there. I know there is a difference though. Okay, this is the thing here. Where is the thing where the nigga said that shit, bro? I know I saved it. No, I saved the cave bitch thing. Damn, I ain't say when that nigga was talking shit. I thought I did too. Fucking me. My bad. I ain't saved it. I just looked at that shit and laughed. That must have been what it was. Anyways, I think the Buddha gut, but through God body knowledge I shall evolve into skinny Buddha. You see? Bruh, when everybody gets to be right, there's all kind of fantastical, ridiculous shit that goes down. Okay, so basically, okay, God body. You unlock your chakras, you activate your chakras, and then once you plug it in, you're gonna be in there. Okay, that's Bruh Sanchez talking about some plug it in. So once you do that, then you upgraded, you enlightened, you go from 3D to 5D. There are all types of different. Damn, I only have one post. No, okay, this is all posts. I have to click it. Dumbass. When I said dumbass, I was talking to myself. All this stuff happens because you upgraded some shit. Now I seriously don't have it. Damn, I really thought I had it. I was just talking shit in my head with the phone. That's what it was. Okay, so that's the God body stuff. All right, chakras are in your body, which they're not. Your soul is in your body, which it's not. Because a soul is something you are, not something you have. A body is something you have, okay? It's physical. So we're going to get into it today, okay? We're going to get into this shit today. Let me take this down. Let me set up the first video, okay? Now, what this guy, this is what I have in store for you today, okay? Last episode on the season premiere, we listened to a gentleman named John Vervaeke, PhD. Today I'm going to have a little bit more of him, but there's another guy I want you to listen to, Donald Hoffman. Okay, now, what's going to happen here? The first thing we're going to talk about, all right, is this idea of space-time, because all these examples I gave you, the fundamentals of those frameworks are based in space-time and the symmetries of space-time. Okay, the symmetries of space-time being things like melanin, atoms, cells, particulate matter. The symmetries that emerge in space-time. What is space-time? I've told you before. Space-time is the physical world. Time-space is the non-physical world, and the primordial is no time, no space. And a lot of people have an issue with the difference between physical and non-physical because they never take it into consideration. Even these flat earth people, like, you'll be like, no, everything in space is a lie, but atoms, cells, and subatomic particles, all that shit was real. And it's like, well, bruh, what? You do realize these are connected. These are the same theory, like atomic theory and cellular theory. They work on the same physics as the shit you're talking about with outer space. So you can't really tell me I'm going to get rid of this and take this. That's the same shit niggas did with Christianity when it was picking and choosing from the Bible. Okay, so the first thing we're going to tackle is the idea of reductionism. I'm going to let them give you a brief synopsis of what the fuck reductionism is, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to hit you with a little more. All right, let's get into it today.
So I agree with, I think I'm agreeing with Donald that I would want to distinguish reductionism from claims of fundamentality. I think reductionism is very problematic. It gets you into certain performative contradictions if you try to make an absolute complete reductionism, because it gets you into saying things like only the bottom level is real, and I know that from this level up here, which isn't real, and you get all kinds of performative contradictions going on there. You have measurement problems. Wolfgang Smith has brought this out. You know, the ruler can't be a quantum thing to measure the quantum things, or you get into. And I won't review that. There's a host of problems where I think reductionism and a completely flat ontology aren't justifiable.
All right, here, check me out, because I want to make sure. Look, that's why I clipped it right there. Okay, we're talking reductionism versus fundamentality. Okay, once again, how you're thinking, philosophy, because you want to get into the premises of your thinking. My issue is not that. My issue is not that what you're saying cannot be possible. Okay? No, I don't care what your form is. My issue is your premises of thinking. Where did your thinking begin? Like I've said before, you can know how to do the hopscotch jump, right? You can know how to do it with your eyes closed. I can blindfold you. Your form can be perfect. But if I start you on an incorrect premises, I don't care how perfect your form is. You're going to miss every single step. You're going to miss every single step if your premises of thinking is incorrect. That's why I'm focused on your premises of thinking. I don't care what your form is. Bro, you could be the one nigga to unlock telekinesis, but I'm telling you, that's not spiritual. Sure, maybe you could do it. None of that's spiritual. Bro, that's physical world God body stuff again. Anyway, we're going to get into it because, okay, look, now we're talking about the difference between reductionism and fundamentality. Reductionism and fundamentality, okay? When we're talking reductionism, this is the idea that, okay, what the hand is can be reduced to the tissues that compose it. What those tissues are can be reduced to the cells that compose it. What the cells are can be reduced to the atoms, and the atoms can be reduced to the subatomic particles, and so forth, and so forth, and so forth. That is reductionism, okay? Usually when people are thinking in terms of reductionism, they make paradoxical, contradictory, what did he call it? Performative contradiction. There we go. They do performative contradictions. He mentioned it a moment ago when he was speaking about the fact that, the ruler isn't a quantum thing. Like everything that you're using to measure the quantum world isn't quantum. And as soon as it becomes quantum, or as soon as you're looking at it from a quantum perspective, it's not there. You can't measure it anymore. Okay. It's also the idea that let's say that what the person is saying is, okay, well, what's really real is the quantum level, okay, but you're not doing any of the measurements from the quantum level. So if the experiential world is illusionary, right? This isn't what's real. What's really real is the quantum subconscious. Okay, cool. That's your claim. But if that's your claim, and we're doing all of the measurements, all of the tests, on the level of analysis where nothing is real, how are we ever connected to this fundamental reality you're talking about? See, reductionism it has the same mind-body problem as dualism, okay? Where the two things don't ever actually connect. And reductionism has other problems as well because space-time in general is its problem. Now, space-time, it's a theory. Okay? Fundamentality goes with theories. And they're going to talk about this in a second, okay? Because remember, these words invoke things. Niggas just say words. Fundamentality it invokes an idea, because we're not even talking about truth or what's real yet. Those are different jurisdictions. Those are different types of questions. All right? What is fundamental is a theoretical question. It's a theoretical question. Well, see, we got to get into that, because he also mentioned a flat ontology, okay? An ontology that doesn't have any nuance to it. An ontology that's not concerned with its coherence, which is what most people use, all right? They're using words that are not concerned with how they cohere, because everything just makes sense. It's all connected. And so they never cultivate any capacity to make things cohere. They just say they do because it feels good. Anyways, my apologies. Ranting. Let's continue.
Why do you say performative contradiction and not contradiction?
Performative contradiction means that there isn't a contradiction between propositions. There's contradictions between the activity and the proposition stated. Here's one. I'm asleep right now. Okay, that doesn't make any sense. Or it's a performative contradiction because the action requires the falsity of the proposition. Right.
So can you explain why suggesting that there's some ground that's more real than a higher level is a performative contradiction?
What I was saying is if you say that the bottom...
I'm looking at this, and it's showing my intro. Wait, why is it showing all the way back here? That's weird. My apologies. Let me continue. I was looking at the other screen. It was showing me something else. My apologies.
Level is the only level that's at real. That is clearly not the level at which the science is being done. The science is being done by scientists using gauges and writing things down and using computers and using language and making theories and going to conferences. And if all of that is not real, because it's somehow epiphenomenal or illusory, then how is it that that level is giving you epistemic access to the real bottom level? You're saying it's like saying I'm in the middle of a dream, and in that dream I dreamt that Santa Claus was real, therefore Santa Claus is real.
All right, look. And look, Elias says I barely understand these English-speaking motherfuckers. Look, and he's speaking the same language as you, right? It's crazy. I be telling niggas that you don't know English yet. But here, look, I want to break this down to you. Performative contradiction, because this is not only understanding this concept is useful, but this is kind of the crux of people who are in a reductionist mindset, okay? They're going to reduce, because these motherfuckers will have spiritual framework where they reduce everything to melanin. And it's contradicting itself, okay? Once again, performative contradiction. If what's really real is the underlying melanin, okay? The underlying melanin and everything is real, and everything else is sort of an epiphenomenon, an emergent phenomenon that's illusionary, and it's not really the real thing. Okay, cool, that's your claim and it's fine. You can say something to that effect. But if that's the case, performative contradiction, all the scientists who are looking at it are none of them are at the melanin level. Like the analysis is all being done in this illusionary level. And if that's the case, how does that ever epistemically? Epistemically means we're talking about how do you know. Epistemology, Epistemology and ontology go hand in hand. They make up sort of the body of metaphysics, if you will. You have to have the two. Ontology tells you what is, what exists, what is the nature of it. Epistemology tells you how do we know, okay? And so epistemic access is how do you know? So you're being able to know. So from that illusionary level, how do you get epistemic access, or how do you know anything on that more fundamental level? Because none of the research can be done there. None of the experience can be done there. None of the analysis can be done there. So how do you ever access it? You can't. It's a performative contradiction. Like you were saying, I am asleep. Well, I'm clearly not. You know, but to even perform that statement, I have to contradict myself. Okay, it's like motherfuckers who say they come to me and they say, hey, you know, I was swag surfing with Zeus. I was swag surfing with Zeus. This is why I ask niggas, what is you? Because if what you are is this human personality, how the fuck does that ever swag surf? If what you are is the body, you know, melanin super god, how does that ever swag surf with a deity? It's your premises of thinking. All right, just running along, hearing somebody say a sciencey sounding word saying check facts and fire, and that's not the case. The words have meaning. You can even look them up. Excuse me. Let me continue. Because I want to convey the information. I want to convey the ideas of why I'm saying what you're saying doesn't work. Because the same, like I said, motherfuckers will accept quantum, but then they'll be like, space don't exist. You know, you got to understand how these underlying things work. Otherwise, otherwise you just create gibberish and nonsense.
Like if the level at which you're doing the science is illusory, it undermines all the claims you're making from that level. You have to be able to give an ontological reality to science if any of its conclusions are going to be taken to be real.
Now, that's beautiful.
Thank you. So and there's a host of other arguments, and I want to put reductionism aside for that.
So this is reductionism for a second, okay? So even scientific frameworks, we're talking even present day scientific frameworks that are based on the idea of reductionism as a fundamental part of their theory are not talking about the fundamentals of reality at large. Why? Because space-time is emergent and everything in space-time is emergent. But we're going to continue because Donald Hoffman, he has a thing where he's talking about space-time is dead. Space-time is doomed. And like once again, this is why I bring you the PhDs. They spend their life doing this. Like, bro, I spent my life doing occultism, metaphysics, okay, spirituality. They haven't done that, but they've done something else. And the thing that they've done is part of what you're looking for. This is why you can go to somebody else and have them tell you it. They like, oh no, fuck this nigga Aries. He don't know what he said. You see how angry he is? Clearly, he can't be right. Okay, look, these guys are well-mannered British chums. I don't think John's British. I don't think Donald's British. I don't know. But you know what I'm saying. It's like, look, they're well-mannered, polite academics. Look, they got everything you just said, okay? Right here. Swag surfing with Zeus. Hell yeah, bro. Niggas be saying all kind of crazy shit, man. Neuromelanin gods. Oh my God, neuromelanin. Because melanin is in any complex nervous system. So the white folk you saying they got melanin, they got a complex nervous system, they most certainly do. But once again, melanin is back to particulate matter. And particulate matter isn't the thing. It's not going to get out of here, okay? I want Donald to give you just a little bit more about what it means for something to be fundamental.
You know what? Let me ask a question. So I'll start this off with perhaps the most basic question. We say that some people say that consciousness is fundamental, and then there's various questions like, well, what is consciousness? So here's another question. Well, what is fundamental? So what's fundamental if one doesn't assume reductionism? And if one does have to assume reductionism for something to be fundamental, then does that mean that conceptually reductionism is more fundamental than the X that you're saying is fundamental?
Excellent
question. Anyway, what is fundamental?
I'll be happy to start.
Sure.
So I think that there's two important and different concepts going on here. One is reductionism, which has to do with an assumption about space-time being fundamental. And with reductionism, the idea is that as you go to smaller and smaller scales in space-time, you get to more and more fundamental objects and more fundamental laws. So that's a particular idea. So, and by the way, reductionism is assuming that space-time itself is fundamental. I mean, because it's taking smaller scales of space as being associated with more and more fundamental objects and laws. But fundamental for me is a much broader concept than say, space-time. Fundamental is a property of scientific theories. So every scientific theory has assumptions. No theory in science is free of any assumptions. And these assumptions are the foundation of that scientific theory. And so what's fundamental is with respect to a particular theory. What does that take as the fundamental concepts for building that theory? So I think the notion of fundamental is a theory relative concept. You should ask, what's fundamental in this particular scientific theory? In Einstein's theory of gravity, space-time is fundamental. In evolution by natural selection, we have the notion of physical objects in space-time, and things like genes and competition and replication. Those are fundamental concepts in that theory. But you can have different scientific theories with different fundamental concepts. Most of modern science does take space-time as fundamental, but then they'll also add other concepts as well to be fundamental. Like in evolution, you'll also add organisms and DNA and replication and so forth. So most scientific theories also inherit the assumption that reductionism is a good method. Most of them do. I'll turn it over to John, but I'll just say that physicists now are saying that space-time is not fundamental, like Nima Hamed and others, and that therefore reductionism is doomed. Not just space-time, but reductionism is doomed. But I'll stop there.
You can hear it from the PhDs. Reductionism is doomed. The whole framework idea of reductionism is doomed. Zoran, good to see you in the chat, man. God body deities. Melanated deities. Niggas talking about I hate when niggas say melanated. This is why I hate when niggas say melanated. Because it don't mean nothing. This is what they're secretly trying to do, is not say white people. Nigga, just say white people. Like, if I put all the melanated beings on one side of the room, the only motherfuckers left would be who you call white folks. So just say white people. Quit all the passive-aggressive, feminine bullshit. Chill out, bro. You know how niggas do. Well, good to see you in the chat, bro. Elias says, I contradictory perform a lot. Sometimes I be speaking gibberish. Sometimes it be real shit. Language/metaphor. Well, I mean, what's the distinction between when you're talking gibberish and when it's real shit? You know, look, you just invoked the word real. See, that's not fundamental. That's not true. But I mean, it's a whole other thing. See, that's an ontological word. What is real? See, just like Donald was saying, fundamental is a theoretic property, meaning all theories have fundamentals. And I'm not pointing it out to say it's wrong, it's bad, avoid it. You don't want to have a fundamental, and that's really the secret. Like, no. This is something I want to throw in here to try and help ease along the path. You know, people are looking for some type of enlightenment, some type of an upgrade. What him said, generalization is needed. It is. It's necessary for any conversation. You can't have a conversation without generalizations. If we don't generalize about anything, then all you ever talk about is yourself. Nihilistic narcissism. That's why motherfuckers don't like to generate, because they got to bring it back to themselves, because that's the only thing that's real. Anyways, people are looking for an enlightenment, okay? They're looking for something, and this is the thing. This is the process, okay? This is what enlightenment is, okay? Enlightenment is a process, an unfolding of noticing. You begin to notice things you didn't notice before. See, the world itself don't change. It don't need to. It's perfect. What's changing is you. And you begin to notice things you haven't noticed. That's why you'll have the effect where, first of all, you'll notice something you haven't noticed before, and then you'll be like, oh my God, I got it, I see it now, it's clear. Because the what's the word? Not drasticness. The juxtaposition. That's the word. Juxtaposition of your old capacity to notice and this new one, where it's just like a flood of new things come in. It's like, oh my God, I get it now, I see. But all you've done is notice a new thing that you hadn't noticed before. You see, I say that because a lot of times, every time they'll notice something new. They'll think, this is it. I see it now. I get it. It's the big picture. But you got to keep in mind, what you're doing is noticing something you hadn't noticed before. And you can't be so quick to try and get to the place where it's like, I see the big picture. It's a feeling. That's an emotional response, bro. All is theoretical. You can say all is theoretical. And they're kind of going to get into that in a little bit. Someone said that high can only last for so long. Yeah, that high of, I get it all now. It's only going to last for so long. Because then you got to go back to physical world and you find out, oh, there's a whole bunch of shit I didn't get yet. But I got something. And niggas be like, well, no, I get how this stuff works, but I don't understand. And then they ask a dumb question because they didn't really understand to begin with. Anyways, you could you could say all is theoretical. That's not even a bad thing to say. I would say, but you got to understand the dynamic of what a theory is. It's like he was talking about. A fundamental is part of a theory. All theories have assumptions. I tell you, the metaphysics I teach has assumptions. They're called axioms. I have only two axioms in my metaphysics. All things are one thing, and all truth is but half truth. Those are the only two assumptions I need to make. And bruh, look, those two assumptions are made in the first Hermetic principle. So any of you niggas talking Hermetic principles, you already agree with me on that. You already agree with me on that. It's in the first Hermetic principle. You already agree with me on that. See, this is part of the reason why you have to think about your thinking and understand how frameworks and ideas are set up. You know, it's not just enough to just abandon religion and say, all of that was a lie. Okay, well, you're going to talk truth now? Because what are you invoking? What does it mean for something to be true? And what's the relationship to falsehood in that sense? What you left in religion was a framework about how reality works. They told you what reality at large was, what the self is, and what the continuity between the two is. And without the answers to those questions, you're not going to get the results you want. You're not, okay, you can do a little manifestation thing, but sure you can. You're the thing that's everything. What the fuck can't you do? Whatever you agree you can't do. And that's why I go to what is you? What is the premises of thinking? It's dead ass like standing on shore and getting happy that the water got you wet. Yeah, you got a little water on your toes. You run around the city telling niggas you wet. I'm wet, nigga. Bro, your toe is wet. Chill out. But I get it. I've been there myself, and I get that shit. All is mine. You see, that's a claim. That's a claim. And see, once again, you got to get into what are the fundamentals of the theory I'm looking at. You know, what are the presumptions? Where does its thinking begin? What is it? What are the dynamics that are involved in this theory? The theory of evolution, okay? You got, of course, space-time, but then you have particulate matter. So you have atoms, you have cells. Not only that, you got DNA, genetics, epigenetics. See, epigenetics and genetics, that's on top of the idea of DNA. The idea of DNA is on top of the idea of atoms. The idea of atoms is on top of the idea of space-time. So they're all good. You're going to reduce, people in those theories are going to use reductionism to get to whatever's more smaller, because in the idea of reductionism, whatever's smaller is more fundamental. Okay, whatever laws you're dealing with at a smaller level are more fundamental laws in the idea of reductionism. But as you're seeing here, as we're talking about, reductionism is dead. Because space-time is dead. Space-time is emerging. Space-time isn't fundamental. Let me continue. Because I gotta let you listen to these niggas say it. Because I've said it before, but I want you to hear the PhD say it. And look, you can go back, you can listen to it again, you can take time to think about it, because that's the thing. You're supposed to be thinking about your thinking. Every idea sounds like an agreement. Yes, the words you use. Hold on. Yes, every idea is like an agreement. It is an agreement. Every word is an agreement. It's an agreement because, well, this is the thing. What's the alternative to being whatever it is? Okay? The alternative is nothingness. It's emptiness. From that, as opposed to the emptiness, you have a something. That's an agreement. It's a contract. It's definitive. You've taken infinity and made something definitive. That's a contract. It's an agreement. Everything you say is an agreement. That's why I hate niggas who talking about, the shit I'm putting out here, this is just my diary on my spiritual journey, and I'm not trying to make a claim. Bro, you opened your mouth. You making a claim. Because what's the alternative? You could have been silent. See, once again, what I'm saying, nothing versus something, and now there's a definitive claim made. Silence versus you open your mouth to say anything. I'm not here to debate, bro. You started the argument. You could have just shut the fuck up. Well, see, look, most niggas don't want to shut the fuck up because they get to be the new preacher. You know, it's like reducing fractions. There's no end to it. It's the same concept of like you have with number theory. And look, Donald's going to talk about it in just a second because I want to kill the idea of space-time for you, okay? Remember, you're looking at these different people's spiritual framework. Ask yourself, what are the fundamentals of their framework? Are they using reductionism? Is this person telling me that my regular experience can be reduced to something else in the physical world? If they are, it's space-time and it's reductionism. They're going to reduce it to your melanin. They're going to reduce it to your cellular metabolism. Okay? They're going to reduce it to even a physical world narrative. Even a narrative that what's going on is that there's an alien coming to take us back to where we was at. That's a physical world planet. It's something in space-time again. Oh, so it's not Earth, it's a different planet. Okay? Same laws, same jurisdiction. These things aren't spiritual. I'm not going to tell you whether or not they're true or whether or not they're real. They're not spiritual. Aliens are not spiritual. Melanin cell biology is not spiritual. Quantum physics is not spiritual. Quantum physics is not spiritual. What is spiritual? Non-physical. What is physical? Space-time. The symmetries of space-time. Particulate matter. You can't just say energy. Because once again, that goes back, like, where did that come from? What theories is that a part of? What's fundamental to those ideas? You can't sit here and say, I'm gonna keep energy but reject gravity. Gravity's not real, but energy's real, and quantum physics are real. Shut up. Like, that's what I'm saying. You got to think about your thinking. Where do these ideas you're using come from? And what am I invoking when I bring that up? See, if I'm telling you about DNA, what else did I just invoke? Cells, the rest of biology. Because let me see, you can't throw out all the rest of biology and then tell me DNA is going to upgrade. So if you got that, then you got atomic theory as well. You got general relativity and quantum physics. All that shit's together. It reduces down. All that shit's together. So you can't tell me that. You can't tell me magnetosphere is the thing to do to get out of the physical world. That reduces back to space-time. All that shit is dead. None of that shit is fundamental. None of it. And scientists have known for the last 40 years. Still physical shit type of stuff, man. Still physical shit type of stuff. Uh-oh, the boy Chaos here, and he brought his umbrella. I hope it has some holes in it. Look, baby, don't come here with a pretty umbrella. Don't come in here with a pretty umbrella, because we're going to fuck it up. We're going to fuck it up. And let's say it could be art. That could be art. It could be a testament to a real nigga. I feel you. Okay, look, let's get into the next slide, okay? The next video. Here, all right?
And now, in the issue about mapping to space-time and space-time is doomed. What's going on there, now I'm just going to tell you what the physicists are saying. They will say, the reason why space-time is doomed is this. If you try to make more and more precise measurements at smaller and smaller scales of space, like the position of this electron or whatever it might be, you need to use radiation, say light, with smaller and smaller wavelengths. That's fine. Quantum theory says that as you use smaller and smaller wavelengths, you're going to have you're using more and more energy. You're concentrating energy into a smaller and smaller space. E equals h nu is the formula. And and in a world without gravity, that's fine. As long as you can get more and more energy, bigger and bigger power station, you can resolve smaller and smaller things. No problem. So space and time are fine. Gravity messes everything up. It crashes the party. Because what happens is Einstein tells us that energy and mass are the same thing. So effectively, as you're making finer and finer measurements, you're concentrating more and more mass into a smaller region. So you're getting higher mass density. And then gravity says at some point, when the mass density reaches a certain threshold, space-time collapses into a black hole, and the very object that you're trying to measure disappears. And that happens at 10 to the minus 33 centimeters and then 10 to the minus 43 seconds, which is the amount of time it takes to move 10 to the minus 33 centimeters. And so what happened, and and it's not like that there are pixels of space-time. So a wrong concept is, well, space-time is still fundamental, but there are pixels at that level. No. It means that space-time ceases to be coherent. It has no operational meaning at that level. So it's gone. It's doomed. And another argument that the physicists will give that's even deeper than the one I just gave is to say that in quantum theory, the measuring device itself is a physical device.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, it's subject to quantum uncertainty.
Yep. Yes.
And to get more and more precise measurements, you need to add more and more degrees of freedom to the device, which means it's getting more and more massive.
Yep.
If you're in the lab, it's you've got this device in your lab. At some point, it's going to be as you get more and more precise, the mass is going to be so great that the whole lab collapses into a black hole, and again, you destroy the experiment.
I need you to get that one. Okay? Space-time becomes incoherent on both ends. Let me say this real quick, Eli. I'm gonna take your question. Put your question in the chat, bro. Space-time becomes incoherent at both ends. Because once again, niggas say energy. Energy's going along with mass. It's going along with the concept, the theoretical framework. And it's not bad to say it, but you have to understand the ground you're standing on when you do. And I'm gonna shit all over this shit, bro. I hope you have a parade. I'm raining on your parade today. Space-time becomes incoherent if you try to go to the largest or the smallest. You try to go to the smallest, and you try to, measure a smaller and smaller and smaller amount of energy in a particular place. At a certain point, space-time itself collapses in on itself and ceases to be coherent. You try and go, there's only so small you can go before space-time stops existing. It folds in on itself. Okay? There's only so high you can go. Imagine you get the biggest lab, biggest collider. It's the size of 7 planets. Eventually the thing will be so massive, it does the same thing it would have done on the bottom end. It implodes on itself and ceases to be coherent. Space-time and reductionism, they're good for within space-time to a certain degree. They're good to figuring out how to make a cell phone, how to cook some soup, how to get a little pussy and, put your hand on the titty. They're good for that shit. You can figure shit out with it. But in terms of the fundamentals of reality, no. It doesn't work anymore. It doesn't work. It's doomed. Let me see what Eli was saying. Hold on, let me put this thing up here. Boom! Alright, sorry. How do these scientists get these ideas from time, space, but don't include what proceeds metaphysically? Do they only need one system or framework to understand it to some totality? Like they only need science to understand what could be understood metaphysically, spiritually. Western science. And once again, it's not bad. These are specialists. Like these guys aren't necessarily going to be able to tell you about cell biology the way a biologist would. They can probably tell it. They can tell it to you the way a physicist would. Like here's a small example. All right, you remember those old big wooden box televisions? Had the dial on it. You had to click it and shit. Big, heavy as fuck, sits on the ground. Let's say you had an engineer, a physicist, a carpenter, and a 4-year-old look at that object and tell me, what is it, how does it work, what's it made of? They're going to give me different things. The engineer might talk about how they got the screen. What is it called? Is it a photon something? Is it a photon something? Those big screens, I forgot what it's called. They used to use them on computer screens as well. He'd tell me about that. He'd tell me about the wiring. The physicist might tell me how the electricity is converted into light, and how our eyes pick it up. The carpenter might tell me about the type of wood the television is made of, and the type of cuts and creases. And the 4-year-old will be like, that's what I use to watch cartoons. They're all looking at the same thing, and based on their specialty, they're going to describe it a certain way. Now, once again, metaphysics is philosophy. These guys are physicists. Well, Donald Hoffman is a physicist. Well, he's a mathematician. Excuse me.
But John Vervaeke is a philosopher, and he's not even asking a metaphysical question. See, John Vervaeke is more so talking about meaning in life as opposed to meaning of life. See, meaning of life is more of the metaphysical question. But most of what people are looking for, which is what John talks about, is meaning in life. Okay, like what is, like, how are you connected to it? What do these things mean in terms of my own personal development? But and you said time space. I think you might mean space time, because those are two different things. But Donald's about to talk about time space here a little bit, because I told you that like motherfuckers act like when I say time space is this new thing that Aries came up with. It's like, no, niggas been talking about this over 40 years easily. And like, if you understand space time, and especially if you get into the occultism shit, time space it's almost obvious. But once again, these people aren't occultists. Cathode ray. Thank you, Dawson. It's cathode ray. I think that's what they call it. Yeah, it's some kind of tube. Anyways, because once again, I'm not an engineer and I'm not a physicist. So yeah, well, they're not talking metaphysics. All right, but they have metaphysical presuppositions, and for all of Western science, it's space-time. It's space-time. That's why the ontology of the Western world is set up like that way as well. You know, you ask somebody, how does reality work? And they start telling you about atoms and cells and electrons and the quantum force. All of that is space-time. All of that is space-time. And look, they're beginning to get into time space. Let me get you into the next video, because Western science, not just beginning, they've been doing it for the last 40 years. Easily. I keep saying it. Okay, continuing.
So there's no operational meaning to space-time. And when the physicists then say, okay, space-time has been good, it's been really a great framework for centuries, or, you know, space and time, and then in the last century, space-time. But it's time to find something new. And the young physicists are moving beyond, and they found these new structures, the amplituhedron, and then also the decorated permutations. And these structures are beyond space-time, and they're beyond quantum theory. And when I say they're beyond quantum theory, the amplituhedron has no Hilbert spaces, but its phase structure encodes both locality and unitarity, the properties of space-time and quantum theory. So this is a structure that could have trillions or more dimensions, not just 4 or 11. It has trillions of dimensions. It doesn't care about space. It doesn't care about time. It doesn't care about quantum theory. It couldn't care less about them. But its volumes actually are the scattering amplitudes. If you want the 2 gluons in, 4 gluons out, the amplituhedron associated to it, its volume is the scattering amplitude, and its phase structure encodes locality and unitarity.
The amplituhedron. Okay, so look, he's telling you about structure beyond space-time, beyond quantum theory. See, how many people out here have spiritual frameworks and the fundamentals of their framework are space-time and quantum physics? How many niggas out here trying to tell you spirituality is some kind of quantum whatever the fuck? Some kind of thing in your body you got to activate, bro. That's back to space-time. That's not fundamental. So you talking spirituality, you talking about the thing that precedes all of the physical world. You can't go back to shit like quantum physics and space-time. All of that shit is dead. Bro, all of that shit is dead in terms of framing reality at large. When you talking metaphysics, bro, you gotta put that shit down. You talking spirituality, you gotta put that shit down. I'm not telling you shit about atoms, cells, aliens, upgrading your Kundalini DNA oil. None of that shit, bruh. All that shit is garbage. It's trash. It's trash. All this fucking humanity bullshit. Shout out to the carpenters. Hey man, get you a trade. Fuck you mean?
And so this is a structure beyond space-time, and here's the beautiful thing. When you try to compute these scattering amplitudes, like 2 gluons hitting each other, 4 gluons go spraying up, if you do it in space-time, Well, to do it in space-time, you have to enforce things, the properties of space and time. Things, have locality and unitarity, and so we have to use what are called Feynman diagrams to talk about all these virtual particles that we need in space-time to actually do this math. It turns out 2 gluons to 4 gluons, hundreds of pages of algebra, hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of terms, to do one event, just one event. When you go outside of space-time with the amplitude-hedron, that computation reduces to 3 terms that you can compute by hand. So hundreds of pages reduced to 3 terms. So, and then all of a sudden, the physicists say, by the way, we also, when we let go of space-time, we see these new symmetries, like something called the infinite Yangian symmetry. And the infinite Yangian symmetry is true of the scattering data, and you cannot see it in space-time. So, space-time is doomed. Space-time forces you to do all this nasty, nasty computation that's unnecessary. The computations are actually simple, and it hides the symmetries that are really true of the data. So space-time has 3 strikes against it. It proves its own limits. It makes the math unnecessarily complicated, and it hides the genuine symmetries that are there. So that's why the physicists are moving with both feet beyond space-time, and they're finding this wonderful stuff.
Locality and unitarity. Okay, these are necessities in space-time and quantum theory. Okay, remember, you have people out here reducing all this shit to something in space-time or quantum world. None of that shit is spiritual. Not only that, space-time complicates our perception of reality. See, you know this though, but see, you got to put it together. Because if space-time is the thing that's complicating your perception of reality, why would something in space-time make it better? If space-time itself is what's complicating your perception of reality, why would anything in space-time upgrade you? Your DNA is in space-time. Your melanin is in space-time. Your cellular biology, the magnetosphere, in space-time. Your quantum quarks, space-time. Like, bruh, oh my God. Like, the quantum realm is like the insulation around the densest, the space-time continuums. Okay, like linear space-time continuum. Your linear perception of past, present, and future. All right? It's a space-time continuum. A continuum within space-time. So when I say a linear space-time continuum, it's a continuum in space-time that's linear, that's characterized by being linear. Okay, your experience of physical life, tick, 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 linear space-time continuum. Okay, you have all these linear space-time continuums, not just individual linear space-time continuums of different beings, but the different iterations of a single being. All these different space-time continuums wrapped together. It's like the copper wire like the copper inside of a wire, a thick wire, right? You got the different wires wrapped together, and those wires are wrapped together, making a bigger wire. So all those copper wires, right? That's space-time. That's space-time in terms of locality. Okay, space-time in terms of the quantum realm, where we're talking about unitarity. That's the insulation on the wire. That's the rubber on the wire. You're still the fucking wire, dude. That's what I'm saying. You ain't going nowhere. Oh, quantum, no, it's the insulation on the wire. All those space-time continuums are like the copper wire inside. The insulation, that rubber or the plastic on the outside, that's the quantum realm. Bro, you ain't going nowhere yet. I get it. You noticed something you've never noticed before, and it seems like, wow, so many new things make sense. I must be the nigga that gets it. No. It's a process. It's a process. And see, look, niggas do the fake humble shit where nobody's better than anybody. Nah, you think you better than other niggas. Quit lying. You think you better than other niggas because you know some of this shit. You look down on them. I'm not telling you whether or not you should or shouldn't, but don't lie to yourself about it. Especially not to me. I'm gonna see through it, boy. Fuck you talking about.
And that's why I, as a theorist trying to get a theory of consciousness that can lead to testable results, which are only in space-time, right? The only place where we can get measurable experiments is in space-time. That's where we get our measurements. So it's no longer that I want a theory of consciousness that's somehow, emergent from things in space-time, like brains and so forth. Space-time is doomed. So that can't work. So booting up consciousness from stuff inside space-time, the physicists are telling us that will not work. So I'm not going to try to do that.
Booting up consciousness from things within space-time. Brains, DNA, Kundalini, oil, spine oil. Bruh, booting up the fundamentals of reality from things in space-time ain't gonna work. You trying to figure out the what is consciousness? Bruh, brain ain't it. DNA ain't it. Well, when the light vector hits the DNA crystal and the centrifugal force of the toroid activates the 33rd spine. See, with the 32nd, everything's just set up. But at the 33rd, everything activates, and then as it rises, you feel the flame of your Merkaba transmuting the alchemical melanated sun, which is the black sun, the black dot. Gibberish, right? Just put words together. And niggas will be like, oh my God, we tapping in. Fire. Oh, left hand superiors. Bro, look, not on the left hand path, bro. Get your ass in the dirt. Some motherfuckers be out here claiming left hand path. They not. We gonna sort that out. Bro, get your ass in the dirt. No high road over here, man. Okay, I will always look down on other niggas regardless how much I understand or not is true. But look, he'll be at the bottom, lowest level, dirt all the way in the face. Literally looking up at a nigga, still looking down at him. Fuck with this man, bro. So I fuck with chaos. So I said, fuck that. I'm about to go ejaculate and raise my chakras. Like, that's what I'm saying. It's just so dumb. But niggas don't know it's dumb because they don't question their own thinking. They don't think about their own thinking. So look, the mathematician, the physicist, the philosopher, PhD level shit, bro. These niggas are telling you. The other physicists are telling you the idea can't come from space-time. Space-time and the things in it cannot be the fundamental. Period. They're not the fundamental. This is not where your thinking needs to start or end. No, not at all, man. Society ejects. This is why they don't add you to lectures. You will break a lot of niggas back. Hey, bro, and frameworks. Fuck you talking about? Hey, bro, I got some shit in my own head. I'm gonna have to come up with. Cause you're right, man. Niggas ain't just gonna invite a nigga out. Oh my God, no. What if he wants to debate? I can't handle the back and forth. Nah, bro. We'll see though. I got shit going on. Don't believe me, just watch. I'm telling you. Honesty is superiority. Only if you think lying is bad or wrong. Shit, lie all you want to. You're free to do whatever you want. Do as thou wilt. You're just not free from the consequences of your actions. Well, hey, bro, niggas who are honest ain't superior. There's less work in honesty. Because look, you gotta cultivate and nurture a lie. I ain't got no time for that, bro. I already got no bullshit. Z says, greetings. I have to catch up later. Looking forward to this shitstorm. Hey, man, I don't know where you're going. What the fuck else you got to do? Go play human? Nigga. It's a Monday morning. Fuck you mean? No, man, I'm just playing, man. Do what the fuck you want to. I don't care. Let the church say amen. Amen. Hey, bro, I can start a church, but I'm not going to. Anyways, I really could. It'd be so easy. I want to finish off with this last video here because I want you to understand. You need to let go of any framework that's talking about something fundamental in space-time. You niggas see this nigga, Billy Carson? This nigga got huge events talking about God body shit. I seen the dude Brett Sanchez. He had a little beef with Inky because Inky was like the chakra shit ain't shit. I would agree. Niggas don't know what they're talking about. I don't think Bro Sanchez know what he's talking about either. I don't think either one of them know what they're talking about. But because they come from the God body stuff, bro. I'd have more respect for Inky's idea on this shit. Because they was kind of beefing it out with the Panic and Bobby crew. They lumped that nigga Nature Boy and who the boy who was his nigga was an agent. Pharaoh. The niggas lump Pharaoh and Nature Boy in with Bobby and Panic. I don't think that's necessarily fair, but I see why you do it. I see it. I get it. Because I mean, hey, they pop a lot of the same shit you get from them niggas, bro. We should start a cult. Hell yeah. Bro, I'm gonna start something. It's gonna be funny. Y'all niggas ain't gonna find out till it's too late. That's how I do. Church is shit. Ah, shit. See, it's not that your cult is whack. It's that you need some collaboration, some affiliates. Hell yeah. It's just a bunch of niggas dancing at the golf club. All right, hold on. I want to get to this next segment. Yeah, that boy Nature Boy. Okay, here we go. Let me set this up. Because I got one more. Because this is where I wanted it to get to. All right, but I didn't want to go to this right away. But this is where I wanted to get to.
Now, fundamental, and I agree with Donald completely. Fundamental is theoretic, but one thing you can be connoting, not denoting, is what you think is the ontological referent, which is what some people sometimes mean by fundamental. And I think instead of using fundamental, which is a theoretic property, we might want to use an ontological property like real. And then you might be asking, what is it to say that something is real or to say that one thing is more real than another? And I think that is an important question. And I think that question can't be decided by just looking within any particular theory for its particular fundamentals. Because what we're asking, I think, I would argue, when we're asking questions about reality, is what makes possible any and all such intelligibility? What makes possible any possible theory that might turn out to be true? There has to be some aspect. Because we take it, I think, that reality, in some sense, corresponds to our ability to make our claim, to find our claims true, or our skills applying, or our perspectives present, etc. So I'm waving over with that with my hand because that's a big thorny knot, but I'm trying to pull apart. I think there's reductionism, which we put aside. There's fundamentality, and I agree with Donald what he just said about that. But I think we have an extra theoretic notion, which is the notion of realness, which is something like that which can make, various theories true. How do they do it? And then the question might be, are you a pluralist or
We're gonna get into this here in a second because I wanted to get here because just like I was talking with a lie here. Reality, to invoke reality is a different question than what's fundamental. Okay, what's fundamental is based on a theory. It's a theoretic language. Okay, what is real is ontological language. Okay, let's see. It's a different question. It's a different direction of thinking. Okay. So instead of thinking that, trying to find the most fundamental thing, to put a stake in it and say, hey, this is reality, this is the realest thing, that's reductionism. That's not what you want to do. In terms of what is real, what makes possible all possibilities? That's an ontological question. What's the thing that makes possible all possibilities? That's what you could consider real. Okay, and see, people will make claims of truth. Okay, if you're making a claim of truth, you've also made a claim to some type of reality. No, bro, I'm just spitting the truth. No, like you have to be making a larger claim inadvertently. Otherwise, what is your truth sitting on? What substantiates it? See, as soon as that's what I'm saying. These agreements, as soon as you define anything other than infinite nothingness, that's an agreement. There are implications to that. And people aren't checking the implications. They're just checking what they want to say, what they want to feel good about, man. It's funny you brought up Billy Carson. As I was listening to Hoffman, he debunked a lot of what Billy talks about. Because all these niggas are based in space-time. And that nigga got so much attention. I'm like, damn. Y'all niggas really checking for that? He was being interviewed by some nigga, Black Magic 366, man, 363 or something like that. I'll be watching, brother. Some of that time, like his heart is in it, and I can tell, okay, but you don't get points for that out here. Bruh, these niggas are mystifying the mundane left and right. They're taking mundane things, and because they can't think beyond the mundane, they decide to redefine the mundane as spiritual. No, you can't do that. You can't do that.
That's what people try and do with consciousness. Because they don't know what it is, they try and redefine it. Well, really, it's the epiphenomenal psychic emanations of your neural connective tracts. Just redefine it. You still don't know what it is. You just redefine it. That's not proving what the thing is. See, sometimes people don't realize they don't know how to make a point because they haven't thought about their thinking. Like just asking me a question you don't know the answer to isn't disproving what I'm saying. Like, okay, so space-time isn't fundamental, then how come electricity is in a wire? Like what? Like, bro, how come electricity's in the wire? What? That's what niggas will do. They'll ask me a question they don't know the answer to. Like, even if I can answer that question for you, but even if I can answer the question, they're presuming they even have the comprehension, the capability. There we go. The capacity to comprehend what I'm going to tell them in the first place. See, motherfuckers' issue is their reasoning, and you can't just be like, yeah, Arius is right, these niggas is wrong. No, bro, I'm talking about you. Yeah, I know for a fact I'm talking about you. More especially the nigga was like, who was like, me, not me. Yeah. You don't know English. You're shit at reasoning. And most of the things you think are correct, you only think are correct because you don't want to think about the fact that you're wrong. I'm talking about you specifically. Motherfuckers thirsty for Kool-Aid, red Kool-Aid. Fuck you talking about? Hell yeah, man. Everybody looking for some specific little perfect manila folder to put themselves in and how I identify. Like I said, the bigger issue here, that it's epidemic out in this shit. It's nihilistic narcissism. Nihilistic because you strip the meaning out of everything else. Nothing really matters. Nothing really means anything. It's all whatever you believe. Nihilistic. And then narcissism, because if that's the case, what's left? If I strip the meaning out of everything else, nothing has any meaning, what's left? What is you? That's where all your meaning is now. That's where all your meaning goes back to. That's the only thing that has any meaning in life, narcissism. And people are consistently, nihilistically narcissists. Because there's nothing, you have nothing out, there's no way to define reality outside of yourself. And that's the problem people are having. It's a crisis of meaning. They don't know how to make meaning anymore, aside from whatever they think about themselves and whatever they feel about themselves. They don't know how to make meaning in the world. So that's the crisis we're dealing with. I'm going to talk about that in, it might be the next episode. Actually, I think it's the third episode. I'm talking about the crisis of meaning. Anyway, me and Dawson were talking about that on Tuesday, mystifying the mundane. Yeah, I was there for that one. Yeah, and instead of thinking, hey, maybe I don't get enough, they'll just say, no, what I get is this, but here's how it really is, and then just redefine it. And you just gotta research, man. Don't question me on it. Research. Like, no, shut your motherfucking ass up. If the research could have spoke for itself, it would have. Fuck out of here. Niggas love to do that shit. Well, don't ask me, you gotta look within. That's what they said at church. Well, I don't really know, you just gotta pray about it. Fuck ass niggas. Hate this shit. Hell yeah, and I was fucking up saying everything is spiritual. I ate a failure sandwich on that shit. Ooh, what inside delicious. I gotta serve that in my restaurant somewhere, nigga. Failure sandwich. Yes, have a failure sandwich. Be wrong, because that's how you get to the place where you can be right. Hell yeah, look, motherfuckers will say everything is spiritual, but when you do that, it strips the meaning out of spiritual, because if everything is spiritual, what difference does the fact that things are spiritual make? It's like nobody cares that everybody breathes. Nobody cares that everybody farts. It's not special. Nobody cares. Things that are special that only a few people do. Like a motherfucker who got 4 arms on their right side. Don't nobody got that. That's special. Don't nobody got that. It may be ugly, may not got no bitches, but don't nobody got that. See, man, the drive to want to fit in, have this perfect little manila folder. Hey, this is who I am. This is how I am. This is how I identify. I don't want to give a fuck. Mostly because motherfuckers are trying to figure out how they identify.
Fuck out of here. So what is the solution for this? I do not argue with people that don't think they are wrong, but I am starting to feel like I should. Yeah, because a lot of times when people won't argue with people like that, it's because they're those people as well. They're also, like, you're also the person who doesn't think they're wrong. And it's not even it goes beyond just thinking you're not wrong. It's like feeling you're not wrong. And because of that, that motivates you. Like, you gotta get out here and want to be wrong, bro. Like, that's what I'm saying. I want the smoke on this shit. I would love for a nigga to come up to my shit and point out some shit I haven't thought of 4 times about the shit I talk about. I would love to. You gotta have already thought about your shit like that. And that's part of what going out there and having those conversations with people who don't want to be right. Like, you get to explore your opposition. Like, look, I remember the other day, bro. The other day, I was talking to some niggas on live. What was this nigga's name? This nigga's name was the Human, Hugh, H-U-E, the Human God. You already know. I was like, what the fuck, this nigga? But it was him and some other niggas trying to debate this third guy about whether or not gravity exists. And it was so dumb. It was so awful. But you see, I jumped on. Not because, hey, I think I'm going to convince these people. No. Didn't think I was going to. I wanted to have fun. I wanted to jump around the argument. I came up with new ways to describe the shit I already know. Like, I know this person isn't interested in trying to get it. I don't even care. If they want to, they could. That's always the case. Even the case with me. Even the case with me, like I said, this shit right there, and they get it 5 months later. Who gives a fuck? But see, what people do is they get too invested in getting the other person to understand what they're saying, to agree, to get it. Fuck whether or not you get it. See, that's when you get to a point where you actually have something to say, and you're not just trying to get it. You can develop your own theory, you know? Do it. It's fun. Hell yeah, it's fun, Zohan. See, I wouldn't talk to that guy because I don't feel like I'd taken any L's there. Oh, okay, I need to change my thinking on. Yeah, you see, the L you're taking is an L you might not even know is there. Because it's not about convincing that motherfucker. It's about shaping your own argument. Because if you're talking to a motherfucker who's essentially a brick wall, like, it's not like you're going to get the brick wall to say, I give up. But you can pound that shit a little bit, do something with your fist. Next time you hit a nigga that's not a brick wall, or a room full of motherfuckers who aren't brick walls, you give them one punch, everybody in the room fell down. Because you've been punching brick walls. Not because you think the brick wall's going to surrender to you, but because you're trying to get your fist right. So fuck, that's what I'm saying, fuck these people, fuck everybody else. Self-deification, self-knowledge, not me and my homies' knowledge, you know? Fuck these niggas, bro. Zohan, chaos, you get beginner's luck and get off the hook. Then you'll trip on a rock you placed and forget about it. Then you'll trip over a rock. Let's forget about it. Oh, this nigga taking shots. This nigga throwing shade. This nigga throwing shade during the shitstorm, bro. We ain't got enough sunlight for that. I see you though. That's skill. That's technique. Yo, let me finish this video. I'm sitting here talking. I love talking shit. All right. Because I want you to get into thinking about your own thinking about your own framework. How is it? What do you believe in? What are the fundamentals of your beliefs? This is why I fucks with you. Thank you, Aaliyah. Be in this shit, man. These niggas don't know, but they gonna find out. Fuck you mean. All right, so the thinking about the framing of your own beliefs, how that works, what you consider reality and why. Oh no.
Honest about that, for example, that might be a starting point. Do you think there are many different realities that make theories true? You could be some kind of relativist in that way. Or do you think that there is a ultimate reality in some important unified fashion, etc.? So there's 3 different questions we could be asking. Reductionism, which I'd largely put aside. What's the fundamental of any theory? But you might ask, what's reality? And you might ask it in saying, what is it that could possibly integrate non-reductively all these fundamentals together so that we would have an overall integrated, coherent account? Those are the kinds of moves you can make.
What would non-reductively interconnect all these fundamentals? Non-reductively interconnect all the fundamentals.
That's a question of what is real, not what is the most fundamental thing in a particular theory. Okay. Once again, it's about how you're thinking about these things, not what you think. Okay. It's about how you think.
Does that make sense?
So, Don, do you have anything to say in response?
I think that the notion of reality is an extra notion beyond just what's fundamental to a particular theory. And this whole area is very, very tricky, for the very kinds of performative contradiction reasons that John just mentioned. Very, very easy to step on landmines everywhere here. But it seems to me that Gödel's incompleteness theorem.
Let's go into this a little bit, because once again, I'm not saying this to try and claim some ultimate superiority. Like, to tell a nigga he wrong, I don't have to be right. Like, I can tell you got dirt in your shoes, even if I'm completely dirty. Like, just because I'm dirty don't mean I can't see. Okay? Gödel's incompleteness theorem. Theorems of mathematical logic that are concerned with the limits of provability. The limits of provability. Okay? The limits of provability. That's what we're talking about. The theorems are widely but not universally interpreted as showing that Hilbert's program to find a complete and consistent set of axioms for all mathematics is impossible. Gödel's incompleteness theorem, okay, means it's basically there is no idea, there is no theory that can encompass everything. Period. It's impossible to do. All right. So first of all, I'm not claiming to have that. I'm not claiming to do that. All right. But you have to understand why it's impossible. All right. And not just say it's impossible. Listen to Arius. He said it. Even though I love you to do that, it'd be funny, pat myself on the shoulder. That's not what I'm telling you to do. I want you to understand why it's impossible.
Tells us that in some sense, there is no theory of everything. Right? Any formal system that is rich enough to model the axioms of arithmetic is either inconsistent or incomplete. And we call it Gödel's incompleteness theorem because we don't take the inconsistency thing too seriously. So that means no matter what scientific theory we have, it's not the final word. There'll always be, if the theory is rich enough to do arithmetic, and most scientific theories are, they wouldn't be taken seriously. So they're rich enough to do arithmetic, so they're rich enough to have a Gödel statement that is outside their scope, and yet is true, but not provable within that theory.
If it's rich enough to do mathematics, if it's complex enough to do mathematics, it's going to have a Gödel's theorem. All right, the possibility that it cannot encompass everything. All right, it's basic logic. And yes, Orhan, there are more. I'm sure there are more mathematical theorems or mathematical logical theorems. See, once again, introducing you to a whole new rabbit hole you can fuck with. They didn't even tell you about a spooky book. Thinking about your thinking. What do you think you know, and how do you know it? Ontology, epistemology. What do you think you know, and how do you know it? I'm telling you, bro, it could all be so simple, but niggas would rather be spooky and mystical. Well, shit, it sounds like you can't quantify the spiritual because you would be using tools of space-time to do it, and at a certain level, it collapses upon itself into a black hole. Yes, exactly, Dawson. Yes, exactly. You cannot use space-time to quantify anything outside of it. You can look and find some of the things, but just like he was talking about with the amplituhedron, you had to do the mathematical analysis at a different level of reality in order to get it to come out properly. It was streamlined. It was easily. Space-time makes things complicated. The ideas of locality and unitarity make infinity it makes it complicated. And so motherfuckers are trying to use space-time to be the fundamentals of their spiritual framework, and it's wrong. It's wrong. That is not spiritual. It's not spiritual. What is spiritual? What is the difference between spiritual and mundane? All right? Physical and non-physical. If it is non-physical, it's spiritual. All right? See, I talked to a dude the other day. He came in my DMs. He was telling me he wanted to debate. And I'm like, okay, well, what are we debating on?
You know, and like, well, what do you think is spiritual? And I told him anything that's non-physical. He said he disagreed, but then he told me what he thought was spiritual was specific types of thought forms. And I'm like, dude, you just gave me a more confined conception of the. I said the same thing. The thing I just said is inclusive of everything you're talking about, but can be more expansive. See, man, you got to know what your argument is and how it's framed. All right, you get into that, especially when you start to go back and forth with people. You can figure out what their argument is. What is this person seeing versus what I'm seeing? It's not about, haha, look at me, I win, I get the bitches, even though that's the case. Even though that's the case, it's only because I'm pretty. Oh, shit. Look, it's about learning the boundaries, the lines of things, what makes things a thing. It's about thinking about your thinking. How are things quantified using metaphysics if it is a philosophy and not a form of science? Well, there's a science to it. Well, I guess that's really when you get into the occultism. With metaphysics, it's mostly the philosophical part. Okay, it's the examination of probabilities and presuppositions, so to speak. But how do they quantify things? Let me think. Would they quantify things? I don't think philosophers quantify things. In fact, I think the inclination, there's the word. I think the inclination to quantify things is part of the Western mindset in terms of reductionism in space-time. Like it's here, for example, and this is how you do it with metaphysics. Anything quantified is expressed through the medium of quantities and their qualities. See, the idea of quantities and their qualities, that's metaphysics. The quantified, or whatever I quantify, is an outgrowth of that. Because I'm using the actual numbers and symbols. Okay, quantification is like measurement. All right, and measurement is the issue. That's why motherfuckers are stuck in space-time. All right, like I said before, how much space is in between here? Well, how do you want to measure it? Really, it's just as much infinite space here as it is here. That's the nature of infinity. But if I say, okay, now this is 4 inches, I don't know if this is 4 inches, I'm just saying, I don't know if it's 4 inches. If I say this is 4 inches, now I've overlaid a concept onto the reality. And it's not to say it's not beneficial. You can use that because I need to know what 4 inches is to maybe cut a pair of pants properly, or to cut some wood if I'm doing a construction. I need some type of point of reference. So that's what quantification is going to do in that sense, in measurement. But in terms of reality, what is real? That's a whole different type of question. And that's what you get into in metaphysics. We'd have to use philosophy because it's non-physical, or did I miss something? Philosophy isn't necessarily non-physical. I mean, the thing about philosophy and science, philosophy usually precedes science, okay? Or what goes for science these days. Philosophy usually precedes it because you have to start thinking up the concepts. The concepts have their own frameworks. You know, they're not just some loofy idea. And a lot of what Western science does is they try and quantify what they've learned there. Like all the motherfucking European scientists of old were slick occultists. You know, they're in the closet occultists. I'm not saying they left-hand path, go follow everything they say. I'm not saying none of that. Oh my God. I'm just saying that they study these things. Like in Europe, it was called Hermeticism. What's the nigga's name? Giordani Bruno. Okay? Like the philosophy is more than just thinketh. Okay, it's about frameworks and how to embody those frameworks, because that's what you're looking for. You're looking for the appropriate framework to embody so that your life is lined up with reality in an effective way. Philosophy is going to be the door to that, not telling me what your cell melanin frequency is. Like, that's just dumb. Oh my God. And I had my chest poking out, thinking it was OG out here in the streets. Look, you only thought you was OG because you compared yourself to dead niggas. Look, a black sheep is really interesting in the midst of a bunch of white sheep. But when you put it next to another black sheep, it's kind of typical again. Hey, yeah, just don't compare yourself to dead niggas. Society ejects. So, hold on, I can put this shit up here so that motherfuckers can see what I'm looking at. Fuck you mean? So this will fall in the same category when niggas try to teach you about death and the allegedly afterlife, using physical metaphors, the whole heaven idea. They'll try to make the spiritual world physical. Like flat earth people specifically do this. They'll take ancient cosmological pictures, all right, and say that this is the literal map of reality. And it's not, oh my God, that's so far from the truth. That doesn't, because remember, Earth, the planet is named Earth. What Earth is a concept. It's like if there was a king named King, and I said, what's it like to be king? Well, am I talking about the person or the position? You know, Earth is named Earth. The planet is named Earth. Earth is its own thing. It's all of the physical world. And so when you're seeing Earth on those old cosmological maps, that's the physical world at large, not the planet in a dome. Like, that's so dumb. It's so dumb. Like, motherfuckers will sit here and they'll talk to you about atomic structure and the physics of that. But then they'll say there's a flat plane with a dome on it in three-dimensional space. Like, that doesn't go along with what you're saying about atoms. That physics don't match up. And they'll say it don't match up with the thing created it, so now you're back to creationism. I'm telling you, bro, it's poor reasoning. It's poor reasoning. That's mostly what it is. I mean, the conceptual part is technically non-physical because the idea happens in the mind, then must be experimented physically. Yeah. Okay, I see what you're talking about. You're usually dealing with things that are essentially non-physical. Conceptions, ideas. And most people think, that's floofy, but that's looking from the bottom up. Okay? Concepts and ideas, archetypes, they live in everything that surrounds you. Like, just let's do plants, for example, okay? Plant is a concept, but it exists in all the plants that exist. Tree is a concept, which exists within plant. Okay? The things that are non-physical precede the things that are physical. Okay? That goes for concepts and ideas. Like I've said it before, I think Carl Jung said this. People don't have ideas have them. Okay? Like, living lucid. Because it's easy to say I'm not the physical body and the physical world is an illusion. I mean, what are the implications of that? Like, that's the shit right there, bro. Like, to think of an idea in and of itself as conscious and aware as what's the word? To having the same kind of agency as you yourself would have. It just doesn't have the same kind of physical body. Like, living lucid, treating these things like they are realities the same way you think yourself is a reality. But most people just say the physical world is an illusion because it feels good, and that's what the group says. Fuck out of here. Whatever. Sorry, the typo drive. Man, driving this nigga typing while he drive, watching the shit storm. Dedication. This nigga threw the deep end. I ain't felt good in 3 years. Good, that's what I do. Motherfuckers, y'all want to come actually get this work? You want to come figure out how this shit works? I'm going to throw you in the deep end. I bet you learn how to swim, though. Hey, man, you go back to the kiddie pool with the niggas you used to know, boy, your form going to be looking good. You going to have a reason to have your chest out there. Hey, I'm trying to tell you. Philosophy precedes science because epistemology and ontology equal the methodology on how you research science. Thank you. That was beautiful. I think I've said something to that effect before. But yes, the ontology and the epistemology come together to make the methodologies. The methodologies are what you're going to see as the experiments. Okay? Or one of the things you'll see as the experiments. Thank you. Perfectly stated, Z. It's so odd interacting with them from a solid standpoint instead of a shabby one. What? I don't know what you mean, Zohan. And Chaos, look, man, you gonna doggy paddle till you learn to get that stroke. You learn to get that stroke out there. You gonna hit the little doggy paddle, but hey, some niggas ain't even swimming, bro. All right, hold on. Let me do this. Let me finish this up. Oh no, I'm a dumbass for that. Here we go.
ask it and saying, what is it that could possibly integrate non-reductively all these fundamentals together so that we would have an overall integrated, coherent account? Those are the kinds of moves you can make. Did that make sense?
I would most certainly debate anybody on anything. I will debate a nigga that Jesus is real and be on the Jesus is real side. Just to do it. Just to debate. Because niggas don't debate nothing. I would love to. I'd love to. I would debate Bro Chan on flat earth, on the chakras, on whatever. On whatever, bruh. Because it's look, I'm showing y'all, bro, this shit is so simple. It's not even that complicated. It's only complicated because you're unfamiliar with the ideas. But it's not even difficult. Oh, hell yeah, bro. Bro Sans needs better people to debate because technically. Hey, man, look. Hey, man, I'll show the nigga the shit, bro. Look, I got 2 lectures coming up on the chakras. It's gonna blow the dumbass shit these niggas talk about out the water. It's just so fucking mundane. Anyway.
So, Don, do you have anything to say in response?
I think that, the notion of reality is an extra notion beyond just what's fundamental to a particular theory. And this whole area is very, very tricky, for the very kinds of performative contradiction reasons that John just mentioned. Very, very easy to step on landmines everywhere here. But it seems to me that Gödel's incompleteness theorem
Find where I was at.
Is rich enough to model the axioms of arithmetic. Not the final word. There'll always be, if the theory is rich enough to do arithmetic, and most scientific theories are, they wouldn't be taken seriously. So they're rich enough to do arithmetic. So they're rich enough to have a Gödel statement that is outside their scope, and yet is true, but not provable within that theory.
Okay, this is where I was at.
There is no scientific theory of everything. And the notion of truth, and I think the related notion of reality, and that's why I'm bringing this up, the notion of truth and the notion of reality, in some sense, I think will forever transcend scientific theory. Mm-hmm. And of course, I'm a scientist, so I'm not saying, throw up our hands and no. There's something very deep going on here that theories turn out to be empirically quite valuable, right? I'm alive today because of scientific theories that led to medicine that has saved my life. So the stuff works, even though Gödel tells me that it's the theory is trivial compared to the truths that the theories can't prove, right? So the fact that you can't have a theory of everything, and you can't ultimately know the truth with a capital T, and therefore, and this is where John may want to disagree, I don't know. Therefore, we can't know what's reality with a capital R. We can only say these are the best theories we have so far, but we need to modestly and humbly say that's our theory, that's not the truth, and I would be a fool to say that that's the reality.
There we go. Can you actually have a theory of everything? Not scientifically. Maybe you get into this in metaphysics, you get into the philosophy, you can actually start to dance around the bounds of that, explore it a little bit. But fuck, man, you can't do that from space-time. You can't do that with Western science. There's plenty of things you can do in places where it's effective. So I'm not telling you to throw it out, but it's not the fundamentals. It can't be. Literally cannot be. What was that? Hell yeah, bro. Let's set it up. I'm down for that shit. The winner of the debate is superior to the loser. Could be. Hey, man, look. I'll take that. Shit. Somebody got to win. Somebody got to lose. But look, and see, I think this is people's hold up sometime on debate is they don't want to be the loser. They want to already get the benefits of winning without ever having to compete, which is ridiculous. It's pussy shit. It's feminine ass fucking shit. But anyways, we could do debates like this, where there's no winner determined, but we have pre-set up ideas that we each give an explanation on. Okay, so you can explore the idea from both sides, and nobody has to win, so everybody feels included. God, that's such bitch shit. Like, nigga, how you gonna say you strong but nobody's weak? Then strong means nothing. That's what I mean about the nihilistic shit. Like, they rip the meaning out of things just so they can wear it as a hollow badge and show niggas. Hey guys, I'm strong and cosmic. But there's nobody who's not. What difference does it make? What does it mean? What does it matter? What does your strength matter if everyone's strong? In the absence of the weak, strength has no value. The details, nigga. Whatever, man. Living lucid. Zoran says living lucid. Interacting with everything as if it's alive and then interacting with what you've interacted with too. I'm sorry, I was moving while I was trying to fucking read it. Where is he at? Where is that? Where is it at? Where is what I'm looking at on this side? Why is it not on there? Oh, there it is. There it is. Living lucid, interacting with everything as if it's alive, and then interacting with what you've interacted with. That sounds like pantheism, and I'm not so much telling you to interact with everything as if it's alive. Maybe to change what you consider things to be. What constitutes a thing? Okay, I think that's closer to what I want, because I don't want you to sit here and go, oh, the spirit of the scissors, oh, the spirit of my pen. Like, that gets into pantheism, and I'm not necessarily telling you everything is like that. I'm telling you how you define thingness in reality, where you draw the lines on things, and the implications of those lines. Because look, don't nobody talk to a cup. You'll talk to a dog. You'll talk to a plant. Maybe if you talk to a crystal. But you won't talk to a spool of thread. I'm not telling you what you should or shouldn't do. I'm pointing you to examine where you draw the lines. Because where you draw the lines in the world around you is a reflection of how you draw the lines on yourself. What is you? Premises of thinking. So I always go back to it. Let me do that. Bazoom. Oh shit. Well shit, man. Reality sounds like subjective insanity, i.e. whatever framework I deem is my stance. I would agree with that to some respect, but the thing is, it's like I would say this: it don't matter which reality you do, as long as you're actually doing one. And when I mean actually doing one, it has to be it has to be coherent with itself. It has to be coherent with itself. It has to be able to describe what the self is and the continuity and everything. Like, it don't matter which framework you have, you just gotta have one. And a lot of motherfuckers don't have one, but they think they do because they feel good saying certain things. Like, you feel good saying the things that you've heard other people say. Hey man, everything is melanin. It's really my subconscious chaos. You know, that's easy to say. And you hear people say it feels good. It's not facts. It's not facts. So you want to be building your reality on a framework that's tenable, that supports itself, that has integrity beyond just how you feel about being able to say it. Debating flatties is fucking pointless. They will dismiss all science unless you could do it and appeal to scripture. Well, debating them to try and get them to change their mind is pointless. But if I showed that debate to a bunch of people who already had an open mind and were looking to consider both sides of the point, they would get to see it. And they'd get to see how a nigga who isn't doing it looks. So I can sit here once again and debate that brick wall. But if 100 niggas who not a brick wall see me debate the brick wall, fuck what the brick wall believes. Especially if I made my point. Fuck what the brick wall believes. I'm not there to convince the brick wall. I'm gonna destroy the motherfucker and it'll never recover. Fuck you, me. I feel like the loser would be superior. More L's to take leads to more hurt feelings. The comeback can be realer. Yeah, more of an epic saga, right? Drama is life, bro. When you attach a drama to some shit, it gives it life. That's part of the reason I tell y'all so much to focus on the narratives surrounding not only the different deities you interact with, but your non-physical conception of self. That narrative, the drama makes it real. Bruh, this is a cup. But if I tell you a story about it and I put it into a narrative, there's more to it now.
That's why you think that's why there's so much to what you consider yourself to be, your personality. Because there's a tale, there's a narrative, there's a legend. You know the tale of your personality. You know all the secrets about yourself, the shit nobody will know, the secret hidden apocrypha. You know the legend of your ass. Well, get over that shit. If you only knew my story, shut up. Everybody got one. And you so busy caught up in yours, you ain't even listening to nobody else. You ain't really listening to anybody else's story because you're so caught up in yours. If niggas only knew, I should write a book and do a movie. People would be so amazed. Shut up. Trauma flexing. This nigga's trying to flex with their trauma. Let's stop it. Killing me, bruh. I'm sorry, I'm ranting. Real how? Noticing the slipping of your reality as you try to grab the very hand that pushes you while also realizing it was you who pushed yourself off into the deep end seems fake to me. Noticing the slipping of your reality as you try to grab the... It's like that meme where the motherfucker got their hand like this with the boot. And like, oh my God, everything is falling apart. Like, but is it really though? Like, is it really though? Like I said, motherfuckers love to say chaos still sit our fucking up. And you see who they really are. Some people say they're alternative, but really they're dying to be the mainstream. They wish the mainstream would accept them. That's why they say shit like normalize, and then you enter whatever the fuck it is they do. Normalize. Da, 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 da. Well, if we normalize it, then you won't be alternative anymore. Oh, but that was the goal, wasn't it? For you to be the mainstream. For you to be the one that niggas listen to. Well, you just got to do your research. Go within. I mean, I can't really tell you how it is. What? The goal was for you to be the new authority. For niggas to come to you. No, I don't need niggas to come to me. I'm just putting it out there for whoever's out there. Like the preacher, right? I'm just putting it out there for... Like, if it was really about you, you shut the fuck up. Do what? You shut the fuck up. You wouldn't need a public diary to show your studies. Some dude on YouTube, Soul Occultist. That's what he said. He said some hour and a half video he did with a self-deification in the title was a diary of his studies. And I'm like, bro, if it's a diary, why is it public? It's performing. You want to be the new authority. It's okay, stop lying to yourself, but you got to go through the fire, man. It would be fake to not want to lose. The spirit of scissors made me legit laugh out loud. It would be fake to not want to lose. It would be. I can see that. But I also say it's understandable not to want to lose. Like the idea that nobody thinks that what they do is evil, even the villain. Everyone thinks that what you do is good. That's what good means. That's what good means. It means correct. It means right. It means proper. It means aligned. You know, everybody thinks what they do is good. So everybody wants to win. But you guys, losing. There's a flair, art to it, some style to it. Like Buzz Lightyear falling with style. He's still falling, just with style. Spirit of scissors made you laugh out loud. Bruh, nigga, that's what some pantheism shit can get you into, bro. That's where those arguments go. That's where the idea, the theories will have you ending up. And then really, so I'm sitting here, if I'm looking at the world, and what I see is scissors, and so I say the spirit of scissors, I'm still defining reality on this. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, you can do spirit of scissors. Let's say every cell in that deity's physical body would have been an actual scissor, a pair of scissors. Just like every cell in my physical body is the ones that are in this. You know, it's more expansive. It's more nuance. There's more nuance. There's more detail involved. Okay. Once again, changing how you think and what you think you is and how that is framed is going to fold over in how you frame everything else. I cannot stress it enough. Your premises of thinking. What is you? I cannot stress it enough. I never thought of it like that. Well, that's why you got to keep going. Keep moving through it, man. The legend of your stanking ass. Yes, niggas are caught up in the legend of their own stanking ass. And it's not... Oh, what did I just do? Oh, I turned that off. And that was done anyway. Was that done? I'm a dick. Was that done? I'm pretty sure that was done. Damn it.
The stuff works, even though girdle to
yeah, okay, that was done.
Modestly
okay,
and humbly
I was
say.
I was done with that. Well, yeah, man. Okay, so look. Space-time is off the table. Space-time is off the table. The physicists will tell you that, even the quantum physicists. Space-time is not fundamental. Therefore, anything that is emergent from space-time is not fundamental. Brains, melanin, cell biology, kundalini ass oil, whatever the fuck going up your spine, it's not fundamental to reality. So if you're using it as the fundamentals of a spiritual framework, you're ass backwards. Period. If the fundamentals of your framework are this mystical, mundane shit, you're wrong. God body is garbage. It's not about upgrading your DNA. Why? Because that's another symmetry of space-time. Space-time is hiding the relevant symmetries. Space-time makes your perception of reality more complicated. So there's nothing in space-time that you need to upgrade that's going to make the difference. There's no special light code you get from the sun when you look at it a certain way. There's no melanin activation. There's no DNA upgrade. There's no brain synthesis with kundalini oil. No, God body is garbage. It's trash. It's mystical, mundane bullshit. And you gotta let it go. If you actually want to get what this shit means, you gotta let that shit go. Look, tithing. It was in Christianity. Give back 10%. That's not your money. Niggas is dumb. 10% is Malkuth. The physical world. Niggas won't give it up. That's your problem. Let that shit go. You get the rest of it. You get the rest of the kingdom. You get the rest of the kingdom of heaven, bro. Let go of the 10%. That's all you gotta do. But easier said than done. I'm not gonna tell you to go within. We talk about this, man. I fuck with self-deification. That's how we do. Them binaural beats used to go crazy. Of course they did, because you agreed, you believed. You gotta believe like that, bruh. Some niggas listen to that shit, don't believe nothing, just be, man, it's kind of annoying, bro. Turn this shit off. Here come another nigga, you must be low vibrational. Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit, bro. It's particulate matter. It's like Bobby Hemmett. Niggas will say Bobby Hemmett cure yourself with peach soda. Okay, cool. But what are the fundamentals behind that idea? Like, what's the theory behind that idea? You know, what you get? Binaural beats. Nigga, tap in with Gucci Mane. Tap in with this. Tap in with that. Because what is the process of tapping in? It's not the appearance of the thing. It's just physical world drew a circle around some particulate matter and said what it is. When I just said it, actually believed it. Actually know how that shit worked. See, it's not just walking around with a shirt on talking about cure yourself with peach soda. That's what the God Bobby Hemmett said. You gotta know how that shit work, bro. That same nigga who will wear that shirt will tell you everything is melanin. That's so dumb. See, look, if space-time isn't fundamental and everything is something from space-time, how dumb is that? See how limited their whole conception of reality has to be to do that. And this nigga's only talking about a little bit of into time-space. Bro, I break down all kind of shit in time-space. Amplitude, heat drum, man, please. There's so much geometry beyond space-time. There's so much geometry. There's archetypal geometry. And that's the kind of shit you want to understand. That's spiritual. Understanding that shit is spiritual, bro. Fuck out of here. These niggas talking about raise your kundalini DNA oil. Fuck out of here, bro. This shit's so dumb. I think I covered what I wanted to cover today. Let me double check to make sure I didn't have another thing I was trying to throw out there. Just to be certain. What's this? I might have it on here. Oh, it was my aquarium light. Okay, no. That's all of it. Well, about debating. No, I put that out. Okay, no. I did everything I need to do today, man. Hell yeah, this has been outstanding. This has been wonderful. It's music, time, space. What do you mean when you say music? Music on a theoretical level or music in an expressive way? Like I heard a song. Your experience of music within space and time is still space and time. All right. What music is on a theoretical level is going to get you closer to that. See this? Fuck. Because
when you're talking about music, you're talking about, it's the same as numbers and color. You're talking about change through time and through space. Okay, not because different harmonics will have you can correspond them to different geometric shapes. Not because they're things out there, but because the way the octave unfolds is the same way that geometric shapes unfold, the same way that colors unfold, the same way numbers unfold, often to infinity. Okay? It's the same unfolding process or pattern. Geometrical structures of sound, the music of the sphere, so to speak. Okay? Because once again, when you're looking at geometry, you're looking at change through space. Okay, until you start to get into fourth dimensional geometry, then it necessitates time. Okay, then it's more like music because music is changed through space and time. Okay, I would say numbers is simply the unfolding of change. Now negative numbers are a whole different thing. Once again, see, there are different theories within mathematics. You know, a lot of what we take for granted, there's plenty of nuance involved, and because we don't explore it, we just say, well, this is simply this. This is just that. Well, this is simply this. Well, this is just that. You miss all the nuance. You miss all the details. Dawson says cymatics, spelling word. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Kymatics. That boy Maestro. I see you, nigga. Hey, good to see you in the chat, bro. Yeah, kymatics. Look up kymatics. It's where you can see the physical expression of the different geometries of sound. There we go. You can see the physical expression of different geometries of sound, and it gets into fractal. See, bro, this is why I tell y'all about the fucking Trinity. This is why the Trinity is so imperative. Episode 4, I should be doing Trinity stuff. I got my fucking list here. No, the next episode is that. Episode 4 is the episode on meaning. So the next episode is the first self-deification lecture. But I have to talk about the Trinity because it's the most essential thing. It's the most essential fractal. It's oh my God. Do I want to do that? Do I really want to do that? I kind of do. I kind of do. I want to do it. Okay. It's real simple. It's real simple. It doesn't have to be complicated. I know what I'll use. I use the Triforce. Bum 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 bum. Boom. I'll do that. Here, check this out. I'll go like that. Alright, how much of this can you see? What? Where's it at? What is that over here? That's craziness. Bruh. Oh, that's because I locked this. Okay, I see what's going on. And then you can't see it because I'm doing my dumb ass. Look, bruh. I'm fucking up, but it's okay. Look, okay. This is what I'm talking about, okay? The Trinity is the most essential fractal. Okay, it's the seed. It's the image of the Most High. So you have the Most High, the image of the Most High, and that which is made in the image. See, for and all creation, all the form, that's what's made in the image of the Most High. The Trinity, Christ, the Son, that's the image of the Most High. The Most High is the Most High. It's the one, it's the all. The image of that is the Trinity. This is why it's the most essential, fundamental, it's the cornerstone of occult metaphysics. You have to know the Trinity. If you understand the dynamics of the Trinity, everything else will make sense because all of it is an unfolding from that same principle. Okay? It's so simple, but you have to get the basics. Trinity fractal of fractals. It's the essential fractal. It's the fractal of fractals. Really, okay? You can't make you can't reduce this fractal anymore because you're just gonna get a triangle and you already have the triangle. You just may not express the fact that it does this, but it does this. Like this is it. Like look, that one triangle you're talking about was actually 1 in 3.
So I can just try and go, no, it's just one triangle. But how do you know it's not part of it? Like that's the framework. All right, that's the essential essence of any fractal. Okay, any unfolding pattern is the Trinity. Fuck me though, right? Fuck this nigga Aries, bro. He's angry. Oh my god, I can't listen to somebody who's angry. If you're angry, you just can't be right. This is terrible. You need to get in touch with your emotions. Anger's an emotion, nigga. Not that one though. Not that one. Oh my god. All right, guys. I'm getting to the point right here. That's all for me today, y'all. Make sure you visit Occult Corner Store. We redid the website. The shit is hitting. Shit is hitting. You don't have to try and give me $10 on the cash out. Hey, bro, I want to donate, man. I really appreciate it. Go buy something, bro. Go buy something. Go to Occult Corner Store. Go buy something. Go put some work in. That's what I appreciate. I don't want you sending me no fake donation, bro. Go buy something. Put the work in. Thank you for letting me have your Monday morning, y'all. This has been outstanding. I'll debate anybody about anything. Feel free to give me the smoke about whatever the fuck you want to talk about. Whatever the fuck I said, you think I'm not right, let's go back and forth. Don't care. Don't care. But if you really want to get to the shit, I'm a consultant. I do the consultations. You can go to the website. I have them set up on the website. I got some explanations. I got shit you can look at, read. There's plenty for you to be doing. There's plenty for you to be doing. And if after all this stuff where you still really don't know what you should be doing or which way to go, holla at your boy. This is what I do. Literally. This is what I do. Misha, good to see you in the chat. You might have just got here right at the end. Oh, is that the Vulcan thing right there? Is that an emoji? Oh shit. Oh shit. That's Star Trek shit. Okay, anyway. Y'all have a great day, man. Appreciate it or don't. If you don't have a great day, I don't care. I don't really care either way. You just do whatever the fuck you're gonna do. I'm having fun. Y'all have a good one, man. This has been